you know, all we're gonna get. I don't know. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, all right? Because I've been lying to you for the entire pre-stream podcast up to now. That's why I said that. It's just a mannerism. That's why I just say it to emphasize I'm gonna say something that's kind of noteworthy or important. That's why I say that. So I'll be honest with you guys. So far, 5 hours into the game, I actually feel that this may be the weakest game that I have played from Supermassive Games. Now, again, that could change. Alright? But right now, I am not impressed. I really am not. Like, I feel like Until Dawn was better, and even the Dark Pictures Anthology games, even Man of Medan, I think I liked better than this. At least there were more likable characters and a more original plot. This plot, as we're playing through it, I hate to say it, it feels like it's Until Dawn remake or something. It's almost the same plot at this point. Someone got bit and is somehow mutating and getting superpowers, right? Someone knows about these creatures on the island that are hunting them, and is maybe possibly even secretly trying to protect the cast from them. But did you play Until Dawn? Until Dawn, there's a bunch of Wendigos that are creatures hunting the kids. You come to find out the Wendigos are mutated people who got infected by something, and they mutate, and they live, like, forever, and they turn into these creatures. Like, it's the same fucking plot. Like, I feel like I already played it. You know what I mean? That's, like, what happened here? And I gotta ask this, too. Now, again, I'm only 5 hours in. Definitely the plot could change, and it could be different. But all the reviews said this game is like a 9 out of 10. I'm serious. Look at the mainstream media who reviewed this game. They're all like, oh, it's 8, 9 out of 10. Did you play any of the other games? Like, whenever you review a game, you should have a frame of reference. And the frame of reference, of course, in a game like this, it should be, you compare it to all the other games that company has made. Is it as good? Like, when I play Street Fighter 6, I'm going to say, is it as good as Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 3? I'm going to compare it to the previous games in the series. Okay? Did they not play the other games that Supermassive made to have that comparison? I'm confused. But anyway, I hate to say it, that's my initial impressions on the game. I was really hoping that after playing it all day long on Friday, I would have been intrigued and more entertained. Like, here's the thing, it's a horror game. There has to be horror today. You know what I mean? Like, there can't be all teen angst. It's impossible. Or else you would not call it a horror game. You'd have to call it a fucking Dawson's Creek game. You know what I mean? There has to be horror today. Heading into the 6th, 7th, and 8th hour. Alright? So, let's see what happens today. Alright? And I hope that it gets better. Okay? Now, obviously, I have to kind of address, you know, also what happened yesterday on my streams. Okay? And what I mean by that is, yesterday was one of the lowest supportive days that I've had ever as a full-time streamer. The first stream did okay. I think I raised something like $80 in tips, which is not bad at all. It's decent. But we didn't hit a tier 2 or tier 3 goal. The second stream, the late night stream last night, tied for my worst stream ever when it comes to support. Not views. We had over 300 people on the stream. Not engagement. People were liking the stream. People were talking on the stream and interacting with me. For some reason, it was the lowest supported stream. It tied. Now, just think about this. It's a new release. Okay? It tied with my playthrough of Mass Effect 3 last year. To give you guys perspective, if you weren't around last year, you weren't watching that playthrough. When I played Mass Effect 3, alright, this was part of the Mass Effect trilogy that had come out, okay? What was it, Definitive Edition trilogy, I think they called it, or something like that? Now, excuse me. When I played Mass Effect 3, it was directly after having played Mass Effect 1, okay? So, already, there was burnout, because I just played the first game in the series, and now I was moving on to the third. As we began to play Mass Effect 3, something startlingly apparent started to happen. We realized the game was boring, right? We realized that this game did not hold up like we remembered. The game is literally just run and gun third-person shooter. There's no RPG elements in the game besides dialogue trees. They really ruined it. The game is just not that good at all. And I hate to say it, but sadly, you know, paired along with the fact that it actually had some of the worst narrative choices in the entire franchise, and the ending is bad, it didn't do so well. So after having played through that game, you know, near the end of my streams, I think it was right near the end, or if it was the final stream of Mass Effect 3, I did a stream where I raised $7 for the entirety of the stream. You know, it's about 2.5, 3 hours, late night stream. And at the time I was like, well, obviously, you have sent me the message, you don't want any more Mass Effect. You're tired of this franchise, right? And I wasn't going to freak out or anything. At the time, it was my worst performing stream. I was like, it's not a huge deal or anything. But thank goodness we're done with this game and we're moving on. Alright? But when I'm playing a new release, right? Highly anticipated. People were talking about it for weeks. They want to see me play it. Supermassive Games, you know. Makes great games. Until Dawn, one of people's favorite playthroughs of mine that I've ever done. And I'm doing a double stream of it on purpose because we want to get as far as we can. If I didn't do the double stream yesterday, we would have ended at the campfire before anything happened horror-wise in the game at all, and all we would have seen was teen drama shit. That probably would have been the worst way to cover the game. You know what I'm saying? I had to at least get to some horror, and you have to play about 4 hours into the game to really reach that. You see? Now, I don't know what caused it last night. And I've seen various people leave some comments on the videos last night. Some were just turned off by the game, can't believe how bad it is. And, you know, maybe that's the reason. Some people are like, well, you know, you did play the game all day, and maybe there's some people who watched your first stream, which did get support, but didn't make it to the late stream, or maybe some people were busy watching your first session, hadn't finished it yet, and were like, well, I can't come to the late stream now because I'm watching the first session, I don't want to spoil myself. It makes sense, it's a narrative-based game, you absolutely would be spoiling yourself if you didn't see the other stuff first, right? Some people were just of the impression that it was just bad luck, and some people were basically like, you know, there's other various reasons, inflation and the like. Now, here's the thing. I love it when people try to justify something with something that doesn't affect anything else. You say, oh, well, it's inflation. Because inflation, you had a bad stream last night. Okay? That doesn't explain how I've had good streams since inflation started earlier this year. That doesn't explain how there were other really good streams this week, you know? And that's why, overall, I'm not going to sit here and freak out about it. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I had one bad stream this week, and that's the end of everything. That would be pretty ridiculous and unfair and just dramatic of me. I'm not doing it. You notice, I'm talking about this from a very analytical perspective. I'm not freaking out and saying, oh my god, oh, the world is ending, oh! I'm not going to do that, okay? But yeah, definitely, when you say inflation is the reason, it's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I just did a stream a couple days ago, where it was a live reaction to Summer Game Fest. That stream did exceptionally well. In the last couple of weeks, I've had really great streams, so support-wise. So, what you're saying makes no sense. It just doesn't. Maybe it was just the perfect storm, right? It could have been. It could have been. It could have been people were burnt out from the first 3 hours and didn't make the late stream. People were watching the first 3 hours and didn't make the late stream. You know, there's a million things you can say. I don't think I'm necessarily sitting here, and freaking out, like I said. But when it starts to be alarming is if it becomes a pattern. So I hope it doesn't become a pattern. You know what I mean? I'm playing the Quarry again today. I'm playing it again tomorrow on the late stream. I'm going to be trying to finish up my playthrough on Monday night. I hope this doesn't become a running pattern with this game. That every time I play it, you know what I mean? That every time I play it, that it's just like abysmally slow for support. Alright? So we'll see. Let's see today what happens. I hope the game picks up. I hope it's more interesting. Seriously, like, I want more horror elements. I want more scary stuff. I want more choices that'll be important. And I want less nonsense. Less fucking vlogging while you're running for your life. You know what I'm saying? That would be better. in my opinion.